Friday, May 3rd. Welcome to the Damon Brew Show, brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches. It is awesome to have you back here. Thank you for wrapping up your week with yours truly. Always appreciate you stopping on by, either on YouTube or listening on the podcast. No matter how you're taking the show in, I thank you for doing so. Hit like and subscribe. If you hit notify, you won't miss anything. When a video drops, when we go live, you will know all about it. And thank you very, very much for being here. It's a beautiful day outside. Going to be a very nice weekend here in the Bay Area. Might not be so nice in Kentucky, where we got ourselves a little Kentucky Derby running tomorrow. It's the first Saturday in May. So let's go. Let's go. I always love a good mint julep during a Kentucky Derby. Any sporting event that has a direct tie to drinking whiskey, it's all right by me, that's for sure. Before we get into a little maybe action for you in the Derby, let's start with what matters most. And to many of you, it's what's going on with the 49ers anytime, at all times. That's what matters most. And look, we just went through a draft. We just went through rumors. We just went through, is Brandon Ayuk going to be traded? Could Deebo Samuel actually be traded? We went through all of that. And all I can tell you is that the future is the future, and it's going to get here fast enough. And when you start making big money in the NFL, your chances of just remaining on the roster that you're on decrease. Don't actually increase, they decrease. So yeah, there is a universe where a guy like Deebo Samuel could find himself traded after the end of this season, but that's at the end of this season, so let's not talk about it all fucking season long, please. Can we do that? Can we do that? Do we not have to talk all season long about, well, Deebo Samuel just had himself a really good game and he might get traded in this offseason? I mean, like, enough. Everyone is so interested in the business of being an NFL team's general manager that they don't even stick around to watch the actual season that's happening before they start worrying about seasons that haven't happened yet. And that's just got to stop. That's got to stop. You can't do that to Deebo Samuel because if you treat him like that, he's going to check out. No, he's not. Deebo Samuel is a professional wide receiver. He understands the game. Deebo Samuel understands it, that the more money you make, the more expendable you could become. And that's just the way it is. And these guys have entered negotiations knowing that. By the way, there's another little story today that fewer and fewer rookies are using agents to negotiate because their first round draft, being drafted comes with pretty much slotted salaries. If there's really no negotiating what my salary could be, why bring in an agent? I've always used to say that any man who uses himself as an agent has a dumb client. But it's really not like that anymore because these numbers that get attached to first contracts in the NFL are pretty much spoken for, pretty much defined. So there's not a lot of wiggle room in terms of, well, my agent came in and got me this when the league might have paid that. It's that second contract. It's a third contract where having some inside working knowledge of an agent can really pay off for a player. But that first deal, yeah, there's no reason to give, 3 to 8% of your salary away on a contract that's basically already been negotiated by the NFL's drafting structure itself. So we are always moving along in terms of counting other people's money, worrying about other people's money. I'm telling you, it is now 2024 for the 49ers, and their team is basically on the field, and the only thing you need to worry about is winning a Super Bowl right now. Win a Super Bowl right here, right now. Not that it's going to be the last chance to ever get it done, but certainly the last best chance to get it done with a team that is built like this. So I don't want to hear a word about what the offseason between 2024 and 2025 might look like for the 49ers when we haven't even played a preseason game in 2024. Be zen. Be in the moment. Stop worrying about the future. Stop worrying about it. It's my good advice to you. And honestly, after all the trade rumors and all the moving parts that this is the draft pick you might have been able to get if you had traded Ayuk or Debo and all the worrying about what might have been, here's what I think trumps the entire conversation easily. There's a war coming, and you want to go to war with Brandon Ayuk and Debo Samuel. The 2024 trying to win a Super Bowl war, I think, is better fought with those guys on your team not being trade pieces to improve other elements of your team. So I'm very happy with the way that it all played out. I really am, and I hope you are too. And if you ain't, buckle up because, your feelings really will not be considered by this team. That's just kind of the way it goes. I feel that your feelings to demand a great lunch should be considered at all times. And, I think that when it comes to giving Ike the love that it absolutely deserves, Ike sandwiches, we do a pretty good job. I think I've always done a good rip and read commercial. I've done live read commercials. It's very easy for me to tell you about how much I like Ike's, because I've been eating Ike sandwiches before he became a friend of mine. I've been eating Ike sandwiches before the Damon Bruce was on the menu. My man has good product, and I know it, and you know it, but maybe I don't describe enough. I got to give it up to a listener, a viewer, Steve Berryhill. Steve Berryhill is in the comments all the time. Steve Berryhill might usually catch the show on a replay, so maybe the comments don't appear live in the chat. But Steve Berryhill has been watching this show closely for a very long time, and he always, again, doesn't want to know more about the 49ers or the Giants or the Warriors or any element of sports. He wants more descriptive Ike sandwich commercials, and he wrote one for me, so I am going to do the Stephen Berryhill Ike's commercial saying, let's help promote the sandwiches at Ike's. Damon, fresh ingredients, fresh breads, your choice. It's the unique and creative combination of those ingredients that make sandwiches I've never seen before, and it works. They're delicious. That's while appreciating their whimsical names, knowing what's in them is the game changer. I don't even need to be here for that commercial. Stephen Berryhill, you crushed it. Thank you very, very much. My man, love Ike's. I love you, Stephen. Maybe Ike's could bring you aboard to just come on in here and do his daily commercial for them. That's great. Great ingredients, fresh bread, whimsical names. Outstanding, Stephen. Thank you so very, very much. Now, I don't know where you came up with that. Maybe it was sitting over a pint of Guinness at the Dubliner West Portal, baby. Let me tell you about the Dubliner. It is a great Irish bar. It is a great sports bar. It is a great neighborhood bar. You put all three together, and damn it, you're in a great bar. Great bartenders, good people. At the Dubliner, go ahead. Next time you're bumming around West Portal, either lunch, picking up something, waiting for your night, for your wife, for your girl to get her nails did at one of the 9 different nail shops that they got over on West Portal. Whether you're waiting to get into Elena's, the new Mexican restaurant that's blowing up on West Portal, just go on over to the Dubliner. Grab a couple of cocktails while you're waiting. It's the perfect pregame, postgame place to get a drink. And thanks again to the Dubliner for having us there just a week ago for the NFL draft. It was an awful lot of fun. And thanks to those handful of you who came on out to say hello. It really did mean an awful lot. So thank you very, very much to the sponsors, to the Dubliner, and to my man Ike's and to Stephen Berryhill for giving us one hell of a commercial read for Ike's sandwiches today. We got the chat open. We will get into the chat. I got Joe G dropping konnichiwas, and look at me. Sprechen Sie Deutschen on him. Domo arigato, Joe G. Thank you very, very much. A lot of good evenings, Mike. Good afternoons. It's good to have you. Thank you so much for being here. No matter where you are, you're right here, right now. Another Zen kind of feeling on the show. Be in the moment. Be in the show. Thank you very much for being here. We will continue to look at what's going on in the chat as we move along. We're not going to do a formal club plusing today. We'll work the chat into the show because, again, these are slow news days. There's not a lot going on. Although, I got to tell you, a little forward promotion. I just told you about the great Sandoz at Ike's. Let me tell you about another great Sando. Mike Sando of The Athletic will be joining us 11 o'clock on Monday. Mike Sando covers the NFL very, very well. He's based out of Seattle, so he is really all over the NFC West at all times, and he's a perfect guest to have on as the dust settles from everyone's draft. Mike Sando is going to be joining us for a long conversation on Monday, and I'm really looking forward to a heavy 49er Monday show. So that's coming up with Mike Sando. I hope you plan on being around for it. Again, just like, subscribe, and hit notify, and you will miss nothing that's going on here. Again, Kentucky Derby happens on Saturday. Sounds pretty good to me. Always love the, greatest 2 minutes in sports. That's what they call it. Look, we could have a sloppy track. Just saying, Mystic Dan going off at 20-1. He's a mutter. His father was a mutter. His mother was a mutter. Look, I got no handicapping prowess to truly share with you at all. I have no idea who's going to win the Kentucky Derby, but I'll be watching. I love me some, again, you give me a mint julep, little whiskey, little horse race, and we're done. Like, it's really the perfect sporting event for a father of two young boys. Honey, I got to watch a game. 2 minutes later, I'm done. I mean, that's going to keep me in good graces with Mrs. Plus, which is what we're looking to do at all times. What else we got going on here? Oh, a little bit of baseball, but we start with the always embarrassing nature of the Oakland A's franchise. Saw a story shared with me by our friends at the Last Dive Bar. And look, I love you Last Dive Bar guys. You are fantastic. But I'm going to give you a little friendly advice from Uncle Damon after I share this story with you. And I hope you take it to heart because I think you'd be better and happier off if you take Uncle Damon's advice at the end of this. So this is to my guys and gals at the Last Dive Bar. Love the Oakland 68s too. Love my man Carl Buszczyk. I love my A's fans. You have been so mistreated that it's time for you to exit this abusive relationship and just leave it behind you. Again, it's one thing for Ike to have done what he did to Tina. She finally leaves him, and then she doesn't start worrying about what's going to happen to Ike Turner the rest of her life. She goes on her own, and she puts Ike in her rearview mirror, and that's where he stays. Again, some friendly advice from Uncle Damon coming here in just a second. But the story is, and I saw this written by Joel Umanzer of the SF Standard. Members of the Last Dive Bar fan group, Gabe Hernandez and Rob Roberts, met in a parking lot at the Black Bear Diner in Pleasanton on the afternoon of April 14th. Their mission was to locate, find, and recover a rooted in Oakland old box truck that had been around the Coliseum. It had been part of the A's Rooted in Oakland campaign, which you all now know was just a massive lie. So, again, attaching feelings to this, wrong way to go about it. But a few days earlier, the duo had set out to solve a mystery eating into the psyches of obsessive heartsick worshipers of the green and gold. Where in the world was the Rooted in Oakland box truck? Well, according to Roberts and Hernandez, the Last Dive Bar group was hoping to buy the box truck and then use the same box truck for the Oakland Ballers, which is going to be the last remaining professional baseball outfit, independent league, mind you, that is going to be left in Oakland. So, they find the box truck. They find the box truck and they're talking about it on social media. And apparently the guy who had the box truck in his yard is now not happy with all the attention that this cause is picking up on his property. Roberts and Hernandez were basically told that this box truck is now giving the guy who has it more headaches than he needs, and it's being donated to Make-A-Wish. What these guys wanted to do, though, was buy the box truck. Once Roberts and Hernandez heard the man's explanation that he was repairing the truck and then giving it away to the Make-A-Wish program, they felt that they had no choice but to back down. And we'll see whether or not this truck really is about to be donated to Make-A-Wish, because that's what the A's are saying, and that's what this guy is saying. And they want the truck, and they want to what? Buy the truck and either make that then the donation to Make-A-Wish. What's the the truck better be donated. That's all we can say at this point, right? It better be donated to Make-A-Wish, or these two guys better get a chance to buy the truck and then make the cash donation to Make-A-Wish. Why this is important, I just don't know. I really don't know. And look, this is just my friendly advice to the Last Dive Bar crew. Stop worrying about picking up any crumbs of the Oakland A's and bake your own cake with the Oakland Ballers. I think that that's good advice. When it's all said and done, the A's are never going to love you back. They're never going to do right by you. They will never, ever enter a single negotiation that's based in good faith and a great outcome for both parties. Selfish pricks are the only people involved on the A's side. So the good-natured, trying to keep the community together feeling that just emanates off the Oakland 68s and the Last Dive Bar guys, people who really care not just about baseball, but their own community. You have to understand that you have brainwaves that the Oakland A's never surfed. They never surfed them, not for a minute. All the public positioning about caring about Oakland, rooted in Oakland, any single donation that was ever made to any Oakland charity was done for the PR and the promotion. There is no real care or concern about a single person that has ever lived or will live in the city of Oakland from the Oakland A's, and that's just the hardcore truth. And you gotta stop looking for the X marks the spot of happiness being attached to the A's at all. That's my friendly advice to the Last Dive Bar crew and the Oakland 68s. Stop trying to pick up the crumbs. Go bake your own cake. That box truck, it's a piece of shit. Who cares? You have no sentimentality attached to that box truck. Come on. Go buy a used U-Haul box truck off some rental lot. Paint the thing green and write the word Ballers on it. Boom. You got a new box truck, and you got nothing to do with the A's, who want nothing to do with you. It's like the scene in No Country for Old Men where Antoine Jagur is sitting there in front of Woody Harrelson and basically saying, I'm about to shoot you in the face, and you should admit your situation. There'd be more dignity in it. There'd be more dignity in it if you just said, go away. Oh, come on in, honey. Mrs. Plouffe is going out to a lovely lunch with Aunt Barbara. Aunt Barbara, if you're watching, she's coming on down. Where are you going to lunch with Aunt Barbara?
Well, she's down in Palo Alto, so going to Stanford enemy territory.
Oh, very nice. Oh, yeah, Cal going to Stanford here. Have a lovely day. You look great. Look at how hot Jillian looks right now. There you go. Wifey getting it done. We're both, by the way, you want to thank them for Shogun?
Oh, yeah, it's fun. I like Shogun. It's given me like Game of Thrones vibes, but it's so fun. It's good. And all the levels of the thoughtfulness behind the language.
It's good. It's good.
Fun. Thank you.
Yeah. It's a great recommends. And really, you don't get to do Shogun this way, this deeply without Game of Thrones. Like The Sopranos allowed the anti-hero, Breaking Bad guys are the guys you're rooting for genre of television to even happen. And then Game of Thrones has allowed epic generational programs to happen. We got 2 episodes left. We're going to wrap it up this weekend?
We're going to try.
We're going to try.
Because these kids.
These damn kids.
Tire us out.
We love these kids, but we keep on calling them damn kids when they're not around.
They're so cute. All
right. Say hi to Barbara.
All right. I will.
Love you. Have a good day.
Bye, Ploosters. Have a great weekend.
There you go. Honey, who do you like in the Kentucky Derby?
I don't know. The horse with the silliest name.
The horse with the silliest name. It's a good betting method. It really is.
Still waiting for a mint julep to actually be a horse in the race.
Yeah, right? And if you didn't hear that, Jillian said, how come there hasn't been a Derby horse actually named Mint Julep? I mean, the amount of money that would come in on Mint Julep. Who you betting on today? Mint Julep? This is why she's the smart one. This is why she's the brains and the brawn behind the actual channel here. By the way, let's see how Mrs. Plouse's appearance is being received here. Red Jet. Oh, they're so freaking cute. I love that Damon blushes when she comes on. Dude, the most important choice you will ever make in your life is that wife. You got to wife up the right lady or you're in for it. You really do. I'm so lucky. I found the right lady. I wasn't going to sign up for any wifing unless I met the right one. Thank God I met the right one. Otis Bird. Hey, there you go. Take care, Jillian. Enjoy that lunch. Aunt Barbara's going to be happy. We got Mike Antics saying, Smiley Dan says, have a safe and wonderful time, Mrs. Plouse. There you go. We got Mike Antics speaking for Smiley Dan. Hugh Josky Bear booing Stanford as normal. Rockin' New Era 84. One of my favorite South Park episodes of all time where Cartman is doing the stand and deliver. How can I reach these kids? Oh, I love that. How do I reach these kids? Tom C. Damon, what's Shogun? Where can I watch it? It's on Hulu. Shogun's on Hulu. And it's, I think, my favorite episodic television show since Game of Thrones. Like, that's how good it is. Mario, what a dish. Good job, Damon. That's right. Jillian, nice California girl glow. She's a California girl glow. Can we give Mrs. Bruce her flowers and a happy Mother's Day early? Shit, when is Mother's Day? Thank you for reminding me here. I'm Googling this right now. Mother's Day, when is that? Sunday, May 12th. Thank God it's not this weekend. Thank you. Sunday, May 12th. We got some time here. This means we can get the boys to do the grandma cards, write them all out. Jillian and I, this is how great the marriage is. You want to know, like, why does it work between you two? Well, there's a lot of reasons. Number one is, well, not number one. It's not chief among the reasons why our marriage is working. But we both agreed Valentine's Day is going to be no big deal. Mother's Day will be a big deal for the kids, not for me. Father's Day will be a big deal for the kids, but not for her. Like, we have an armistice going on made-up Hallmark holidays. So another reason why it works between Jillian and I. Chef A, there you go. Smoking hot. Hair looks fantastic, as always. Jillian's got a lot of attributes. That freaking hair, it's fantastic. The queen. That is the queen right there. She's special. Very, very special. And again, so is Shogun. You can't have Jillian, but check out Shogun. You're going to like it. Let's see. What else we got? It breaks my heart that I can't be an A's fan any longer. Mike Antics 19, you got to divorce. You got to divorce yourself of this team that never loved you in the first place. Like, divorce is hard. I've never been through one. But divorce has got to be hard on all involved. unless the other spouse is cheating, in which case, as devastating as that is, divorcing the cheating son of a bitch, that's easy. Like I wouldn't take any effort at all. Seriously. I would go full on angry black woman. I'd be snapping, get your ass out of this house. If I ever caught a spouse cheating on me. And that's what it's got to be like to break up with the Oakland A's. Obviously, you didn't want to get divorced. Obviously, you don't want to be out of love with a team that you loved your whole life. But they were cheating on you. They never loved you in the first place. Love should have brought your ass home last night. I've seen Boomerang. I know. Walk away from the A's. Walk away. Walk away. Walk away. DV Cal C 1234. 1234. Who's got that security code? Spaceballs. Damon, I live in Scottsdale. I just finished playing tennis. Flipped you on, and my tennis pals and me are heading to Ike's here in Scottsdale. How about a weekly 30-second tennis blurb once a week? Okay, here is your first weekly tennis blurb. I don't watch enough tennis to give you a weekly tennis blurb. I'm sorry. I'm guessing you want your blurb to matter. I'm not a racket sports guy. I'm not really a country club sports guy. Is Ivan Lendl still out there? Is he still playing? He was good. Pete Sampras? How's Pete Sampras doing? Did he win Wimbledon last year? I got nothing for you. I got nothing. Mike Baker, lots of great Plusers here today. Oh, we got Hall of Famers in the room. We got nothing but Hall of Famers in the room here. It's like David Bowie, Tweezer, Fluffhead, Down with Disease. We got nothing but Hall of Famers in this second set. Look at this. All right. Tom C. says, I don't watch tennis either. AJ Sargent, I like this. This is a good description. Oh, first of all, Mr. Lendl. Wasn't that an Arrested Development song? See? That's why I love you, Smiley Dan. Who else is pulling Mr. Wendell Arrested Development pulls today? By the way, I have a great song to celebrate at the end of the show. I can't play it for you, or YouTube will flag me, but we'll talk about it. But the best version of Mr. Wendell by Arrested Development is the one that they did when they did their Unplugged. Arrested Development's Unplugged is fantastic. It's also a really great version of I Am Everyday People, which Arrested Development crushed. Mike, it's weird. Sports Bane and Damon are never in the same room together. Shh. AJ Sargent calls tennis big ping pong. It is big ping pong. Big fancy ping pong. That's all you got going on here. Mike, Damon, I love that album. Here we go. Red Jet Shell. The Unplugged Arrested Development was chicken soup for life. It really is a great Unplugged. The two best, there are five now. I keep on adding them. But the Unplugs that really, truly stand out as the greatest Unplugged MTV albums ever, in no particular order, are Arrested Development's Unplugged. LL Cool J's Unplugged is freaking amazing. Obviously, Eric Clapton. Nirvana's single best album, in my opinion, is their Unplugged. And then 10,000 Maniacs. at the height of Natalie Merchant's vocal powers, 10,000 Maniacs. Yeah, I hear the beginning of These Are Days from the little mandolin playing. I just get teleported back to IU. There was a month where either 10,000 Maniacs Unplugged or Dave Matthews Band Under the Table and Dreaming was coming out of every single fricking dorm room, classroom, car window. A lot of Green Day Dookie was happening at the time, too. Absolutely. Nirvana, 10,000 Maniacs, and Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains did a great Unplugged, too. You're right about that. Alice in Chains was fantastic. I always forget Alice in Chains because what's his name died so early. But that was really good. Postman in Capitola. Oy, oy, oy! D. Bruce, I heard Booker T's Hip Hugger at Whole Foods the other day. Gave me member berries. It was one of my favorite rejoins from back in the radio days. Oh, yeah. Those were good. Good times. Good times. Sporticus. Yeah, there you go. Alice in Chains. Tremendous. Stone Temple Pilots. Very good Unplugged. And True Blue Forever. You got it. Lane Staley. Lane Staley. Well done. I'm sorry that one slipped my mind. I almost called him Chris Cornell, but that is another tragic Seattle grunge band death. Seattle grunge bands. Let's do the power ranking. Number 1. Well, this is, I don't know. This is a little, to me, it's Soundgarden. Soundgarden was the greatest. I was never a big Nirvana guy. I really wasn't. I always thought Nirvana, good. Great. And then, obviously over the years now, their songs are, the equivalent of modern classic rock and roll now, and they sound much different. But I like Seattle. You had your Meat Puppets. You had your Pearl Jam, obviously. And then Nirvana. The most popular one of them to me was the one that I preferred the least. Soundgarden, no. Chris Cornell. Whew, what a name. What a voice. And Scott Weiland. Yeah, Scott Weiland. Rest in peace. Modest Mouse. Is Modest Mouse associated with the Seattle grunge sound? I thought that they always kind of came later. And were more like avant-garde than they really were grungy. Smashing Pumpkins. That again, Chicago band, not Seattle. See, Mudhoney, there you go. All right, what else are we talking about? Did we say sports today was going to be on the show? Let's get back to sports. Again, wrapping up real quick. Oakland A's, let that box truck go. A's fans, just let it go. Come on, it's a box truck. Stop trying to pick up the crumbs. Bake your own cake. Meanwhile, A's and Marlins tonight. Box truck need not apply. Giants got Jordan Hicks opening the series in Philadelphia this afternoon. Aaron Nola, who's already 4-1 for the Phillies. He's going against Jordan Hicks. That's a really good pitching matchup. Jordan Hicks, again, might be the best new guy story. Best new guy story on the San Francisco Giants. A couple of NBA notes. Hell of a series closed out by the Knicks last night in Philadelphia. Sixers gone home. Cavs and Magic, that is tonight. We got Cleveland up 3-2 in that series. Clippers and Mavericks, Luka can end this series on his home court in Game 6. So we'll see if the Mavericks can wrap this bad boy up tonight. Meanwhile, did you see that in wrapping it up last night, a moment of dishonor for Patrick Beverley, Patrick Beverley threw a basketball at a fan, like whipped it at a fan, and then as the Bucks season ended, he's all sour graping in the locker room and told an ESPN producer that he wouldn't grant her any questions because she wasn't subscribing to the podcast. What? I mean, that's really not how media Q&A sessions work, Pat. But maybe he's a new bold thinker. Maybe this is what I got to do. Like, I'm not going to read your comments unless I know for sure you're subscribing. It's nuts. It's just nuts. What's going on? Patrick Beverley, this isn't how things work. And oh, by the way, you whipped that basketball into the... I don't care if those basketball fans where you were breaking your team huddle with the Buccaneers were like, 1, 2, 3, Cancun. I guess they were making fun of the Bucks going home. So Patrick Bev whipped a basketball at this guy. I think it hit the woman next to him. That's going to cost Pat Bev like $100,000, I bet you. That's going to be an awfully expensive ball toss. No doubt. Pat Bev, you keep doing that, you're not going to be in this league much longer. You're not. That podcast ain't going to keep you afloat. And oh, by the way, Pat Bev has done some media work for ESPN. And again, he just tried to piss on a producer that might get in the way of that media partnership continuing. We'll see. But come on, Pat Bev, get your shit together. One last story before I tell you about a song that you got to go and listen to as soon as you can today. And believe me, when we wrap up this show, every single one of you, I want you to go and listen to this song because it's probably been a while since you heard it. And boy, it still lands a knockout punch. I did see, though, on Awful Announcing that unfortunately all 30 NBA broadcast teams were ranked by fans, and coming in dead last were Bob Fitzgerald and Kalena Azubuike. Now, we know that a lot of Warriors fans have not liked Bob Fitzgerald for years, and just the other day I was saying that Bob's better than a lot of fans want to admit. Kalena maybe still, it's tough to replace Jim Barnett, that's for sure. Of the 562 fans that graded Fitzgerald and Azubuike, nearly 60% of them gave them an F grade, by far the highest proportion of any broadcast team getting F grades. This is the third edition of FanSource NBA broadcaster rankings. Apparently Fitzgerald and Jim Barnett back in 2016 were at 14. Then Azubuike came in, dropped them all the way to 27th, and now they're dead last. All I'm going to tell you is complain all you want or like. You can stuff the I don't like Bob Fitzgerald ballot box all you like. Guess what? You know who does like him? Joe Lacob and Steph Curry. And I'm going to tell you right now that Joe Lacob and Steph Curry's votes on this matter carry more than double those fan votes that actually got rung up on Awful Announcing. So there you go. Dislike Bob Fitzgerald all you want, vote against him all you want. As long as Steph and Lacob vote yes, he ain't going anywhere. All right. Last thing for you today, and since it's the weekend, Uncle Damon's going to send you off with a straight-up bopper. I mean, it works. It absolutely works. And just measuring how old I am now, there are things that make me go, man, that makes me feel old. You talk about great one-hit wonders. Spirit in the Sky. Norman Greenbaum, is always on the top of any one-hit wonder list. There's a lot of good one-hit wonders. Making fun of a band for only having one hit. Most bands out there never even have one hit. A one-hit wonder can pay for your mansion and a great lifestyle for the rest of your life. Now, this woman's career does not represent the career of a one-hit wonder, because often you can look at a tour, at a backing band, and what do you know? There she is, just keeping the beat, playing those percussions better than anyone else. 40 years ago yesterday, one of Oakland's true queens put out a song that if you listen to it, you're going to be like, that came out 40 years ago? How ahead of its time was that song coming out 40 years ago? Oh, here we go. Someone's saying, oh, hey, who's it going to be? Michael, you guessed Natalie Imbruglia. No. AJ, you got it right. Sheila E. I'm telling you, one of the greatest accomplishments of my life is Sheila E. follows me on Twitter. Sheila E., big sports fan. She follows your boy. We have DM'd each other. Sheila E. Sheila E.'s The Glamorous Life was released 40 years ago yesterday. That song is 40 years old, which means, God, Sheila's got to be in her 60s now. She was hot as hell then. She is hot as hell now. Sheila E. I mean, this woman, I'm going to tell you right now, Sheila E. was one of my very first caramel crushes. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. When I'm just, that comes out 40 years ago. I am 8 years old. Glamorous Life comes on. There's this hot as hell woman just banging the shit out of these drums. I thought it was so hot. I'm like, I want to date a hot black drummer. And really, if we had to talk about what Jillian's competition might be, if Sheila E. were to walk in here right now and be like, Damon, what do you think? Be like, without love, it ain't much. Dun, 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 dun. Just banging on cowbells and cymbals and just everything. Sheila E. is a stone cold fox, and her song, The Glamorous Life, is so good that I want you to listen to it right now. Now that we are done and have reached the end of the show, you use whatever streaming service you got, whatever you got, go look it up on Spotify, go put this on YouTube. I don't care. Go listen to A Glamorous Life, and you tell me that song sounds like it came out 40 years ago. That song could come out today and be just as big of a hit. Sheila E., The Glamorous Life, 40 years ago, and that is how I send you out into this world. Go listen to Glamorous Life by Sheila E. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It was awesome to have you here. All my mofos gathering on a Mofo Friday. Thank you for watching live. Thank you for watching on tape. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for being a part of this. Fewer than 500 away from that 20,000 milestone. Let's get those subscriptions rolling. I want to be at 20K this time next week. I think we're going to get there. Thank you very much for tuning in, for subscribing, for liking, and all of those things. Have a great weekend, and please do remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it.